Dane and Jeff's Media Dump is recorded under the influence of alcohol in front of a live studio audience.
But I'm always up for some Star Trek spoofs. I mean, after all, I think Galaxy Quest is one of the best love letter parodies of all time. Love that.
I love Galaxy Quest. There's a couple of Star Trek movies I've seen that I liked, but I never could get into the show.
Well, maybe next year we'll do every week. Hold on. This might be a few-year process, because if we do something like TNG, that's 176 episodes.
You know, I think I've watched the first probably 2 seasons solid of Next Gen. I tried so damn hard to get into that.
Well, the problem is those 2 seasons are the weakest. The show doesn't start getting good and in its stride until season 3.
I know. Even Sandwich Pope was telling me, dude, you got to let the show grow its beards. That's where the phrase came from.
And Riker certainly has quite the beard. But no, everything about it changes. New uniforms. I think they started using new models for the Enterprise. That's when everything is just like, yep. I think the proper show writers came back. The strike had finally ended.
Didn't they get rid of Will Wheaton somewhere around then too?
Oh, he had already been in since season 1. Should have seen him already. He appears in the first episode.
No, I said, did they get rid of him by then?
Oh, no, that's like halfway of season 4.
I still love the fact that he was in the big finale Next Gen movie, and then for the full screen edition, they cut him out.
Well, they cut out his scene, but he still appears in the movie. He's at the head table, but he's like off to the side.
But you can only see him if you're watching the full screen, or the widescreen.
Correct.
Yeah, this is back in the day of 3:4. If you have the 3:4 cut of the movie, he's chopped out of it, which was the version that most people had at home video.
Well, that's the edition that's the version I certainly watched when I saw it in theaters. That was actually the first movie I ever saw in theaters. This is right after I fell in love with Star Trek. This was 2002. So I was just like, oh, this is so exciting. I love Star Trek.
The first movie you watched?
No, the first movie I watched.
Star Trek.
The first Star Trek movie I watched in theaters was the one we're talking about, Star Trek Nemesis, which was the last TNG movie. But shortly after that, I started seeking out all the other movies, including TOS, the originals.
I still maintain the only episode of the original series that exists is The Trouble with Tribbles, and people trying to convince me otherwise is a psyop.
I mean, what are you missing? Kirk does an alien woman. Spock says something logical and replies with fascinating. I mean, you're not missing. The movies are fun, though, are good. Most.
I know every other one is supposed to be good, but I can't remember if it's the evens or odds on that are supposed to be good.
The evens are the best ones. 1 is boring. 5 is crap. 3, I actually think.
What was it? The first one that the big twist was they had found Voyager.
The Voyager satellite, or the space probe. Yes. Okay. And it went to apparently it went through a black hole, ended up at a it was a planet full of synthetic life. It gave Voyager sentience, which in turn evolved it into V'ger, the thing that we see.
Yeah, I remember that, like, the letters of Voyager had been covered up, so all that was left was VGENR.
Correct.
I've seen that one, Wrath of Khan, and the Next Gen one that Kurt has the
Generations
scene in. Yeah, Generation.
That's I love Star Trek. Voyager itself, I think, is one of the weaker shows during that time, the 90s. But
Yeah.
I think the worst Star Trek is Discovery. That show is ass. Terrible writing, awful characters. The only good character I enjoyed was he's only in the first season, but he's played by Jason Isaacs, and he's a good actor if you know who he is.
Not off the top of my head, but I might recognize him if I seen him.
Oh, if you pull up look him up, you'd be like, oh, that guy. He's like in a lot of stuff. Hold on. Oh, hold your horses. Quit rushing me.
Hurry the fuck up, Jeff.
All right. He's in the chat. He's in movies like The Patriot, Event
Oh, yeah, that
Horizon. That's it. That's it. If you want a sneak peek, that's going to be my one of my Spooktember picks, Event Horizon.
Well, you and me have talked off mic about the follow-up that I've pitched for that one. I want to keep that one close to the chest, under the belt.
Hell yeah.
I don't want everybody to go and watch it ahead of time and be like, what the fuck is Dane talking about? He's out of his goddamn mind.
I will say I'm glad I made your day when I posted. It's like, we're making another Tremors movie and Kevin Bacon's coming back.
Oh, man. I was probably harder than Dalton was today whenever Oblivion released.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, I don't know if we're going to be in the stain or not, but the day we're recording, Oblivion Remastered just got released. And apparently, from what I've seen, because this game was done on the Unreal 5 engine, mods were going to be a lot more difficult. Apparently, in a matter of hours, people have already been mods.
Well, 99% of the fun of a Bethesda game is the mods that you install rather than the game itself.
True.
Like, I've played Morrowind, I've played Oblivion, I've played Skyrim. Like, Skyrim, I literally did all of the different various guild quests. The whole kit and caboodle.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, it's got to get fun eventually.
You see, the first Elder Scrolls I played was Daggerfall, which was the second one in the series. And then I basically immediately jumped straight to Skyrim. Obviously,
I got on when Morrowind came out.
Obviously, there was like 20 years in between, but maybe 10, 15 years. Daggerfall and Skyrim.
Now, the impressive thing about Daggerfall is the sheer size of the game map that game had. Because it's like half the size of Great Britain.
I thought it was the full size of Great Britain.
Well, one of us is right.
One of us is right.
Britain is involved.
Well, it's the reason it's able to do it because it only renders like 150 feet in front of you, and after that, it's just like, nope.
Well, plus it's also, 3D the same way Doom's 3D.
Yes.
Or Wolfenstein is. It's, 2D with clever projecting.
Correct, yes.
It's like the technical achievements that the Elder Scrolls games accomplished. Yeah, I'll give them that. But, and just the sheer fact that they make the most outlandish bugs.
Yes.
Like, in gaming, period.
I just find it funny how Bethesda has used the same game engine, the creation engine, for like 20 years at this point. And they finally created a new engine, and it started with Starfield. Do you know what that engine is called? Creation 2. So apparently, it's obviously, everyone says this with Starfield, it is still full of bugs, and it still basically plays the same.
They have id under the same parent company.
Yeah.
The id Tech engines, and like, if Willie listens to this, I'm sure that his boner's probably like flipping tables right now.
Of course, we're talking Doom.
Their engines have always been rock fucking solid.
Yeah.
Like Doom Eternal. If you look at gameplay footage of that, you'll realize like, hey, it's a lot easier to see the demons in Doom Eternal than it was in Doom 2016. Because they took the time to go, oh, wait, this is a really fast-paced game where it's more about action than, trying to scare you with the fucking demons. So let's make sure you can see the goddamn demons. So they have a separate lighting system for the actual entities on the map than they do the map itself. So they're lit up for better visibility while still having that creepy, haunting atmosphere in places or the hellish nightmare landscapes they're shooting.
Well, sure, because it's It's inspired from the original game. The original games are colorful, and sure they might get dark, but you could always see the enemy you're fighting. So,
Well, not in pitch black, but
well, no,
still.
no, this isn't Doom 3.
You know, I remember when they released Doom 3, and the whole premise was they made a game engine that could not be rendered on current hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So it had like the ultra settings, and if you put it on ultra settings, your computer would either crash or you can get like 1 frame a second. I remember whenever I finally had upgraded my hardware enough to be able to play Doom 3 on just full fucking specs. But here's the thing that id thought about, but Crytek didn't. Remember that whole meme of can it run Crysis?
Maybe.
For ever, hell, even today with current hardware, being able to run the original Crysis without it bogging your computer down is an achievement, because they bet on the wrong horse. id Tech betted on graphics cards taking the haul, multi-threading, and that doing the bulk of the load. Crytek had looked at the way that CPUs had been going, and they were like, well, let's just pull an id because, like, yeah, it can't do all this stuff perfectly now, but in a year, CPUs are going to be like this much faster, and game will run fine. They had a bunch of effects that were single-threaded and were optimized assuming like a 5.5 gigahertz processor, 6 gigahertz processor. We had already hit the cap per core. If you want to get that kind of speed out of a processor, you got to cool it with liquid.
I don't think that's kind of advisable for putting in a computer.
Well, the liquid nitrogen itself isn't what causes the problems. It's the condensation that it creates
Well, yeah.
that will short the fucking board out. I've actually watched the competitions. The shit they go through, they like surround the whole processor base, like the whole port,
Yeah.
with like waterproof wax and shit. Mount the cooler to it. They coat the whole board in anti-water shit, just so that if anything does condense, it's not going to actually be able to get anywhere where it can short the board out. There are so many steps they have to go through to prep the actual hardware for those extreme overclocks. It's ridiculous.
Listeners, I just want to let you know that even Dane is being very technical right now. I'm just staring at him, just going, yes, I absolutely. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
All right, I know you know what a CPU looks like. It's the little square thing.
Yes, yes, I do.
All right, let's take it down. Let's do this big purple dinosaur style. You know electricity plus water is bad, right?
It is?
Fuck me.
Well, hold on. What's with all these water-cooled towers I see? I know. I am joking. It's actually
Now,
funny. There's this.
Have you ever seen an oil-cooled PC?
A what PC?
An oil-cooled.
No.
I did that one time. Since oil does not conduct electricity like mineral oil, you can just full-on submerge an entire computer in it. I had an aquarium that I put an old PC in and filled it with like 5 gallons of mineral oil and just sunk the whole fucker in there. I got pictures somewhere. I'll pull it up one day and hunt it down.
I actually think I remember seeing a video. It's just like, I don't know how long it was, but I just watched it. I just see someone dunking a PC in something like that. I'm assuming it was mineral oil, and it was still like running perfectly. I was just like, huh. But what I was gonna say is there's this funny group of guys. They're called Viva La Dirt. I don't know if we discussed them. Maybe I'm thinking with my coworker. But they take one of the prime things they do is they make videos about video games and the tropes within those video games. So they'll make fun of Skyrim, World of Warcraft, stuff like that. But another bit of video is they work in a tech store, and the manager, the boss of the store, is like filling each CPU or PC with just dumping a pitcher of water in them. It's like, Rowan, what are you doing? It's like, I'm filling them with water. These are water cooled PCs. It's like, and he did it to like 10 PCs at this point. And he's just like, you don't understand. You're not supposed to dump in water. It's like, well, then how are they water-cooled PCs? They need to be filled with water. And it's just finally when he figures out, or when he finally understands what the guy is telling him, he's just like, oh, I have to, what is that I hear? It's just like, Rowan, don't do this. You always do this when you make a mistake. It's like, no, I have to, they're funny. They're a funny group of guys. Viva La Dirt.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
They've been around for a number of years, but they're very funny.
Now, I have seen an aquarium PC that was done in deionized water.
Okay.
Because if you get absolutely pure water, like nothing dissolved in it, that does not conduct electricity. It's the impurities in the water that conduct the electricity, not the water itself. But it is so easy, and it doesn't take very much for deionized water to be like, okay, fuck your shit, and everything shorts.
Well, yeah, it seems like you're playing with fire. Because how you're playing with water. Haha. How do you get deionized? Like,
people way smarter than me have got some kind of super specialized filtration shit that they run it through.
So literally, like something as simple as like a grain of salt accidentally enters the water. Will that change it immediately?
I don't know what the threshold is, but yeah, just shit floating around in the air will eventually deionize it.
It'll ionize it.
No, that's not as fun to say.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but this is we're a logical podcast. We have to try to make ourselves sound smart sometime.
Well, it's like the word dismantle. That's a word. You never hear anybody talk about mantling things or remantling them. You dismantle it all the time. No one ever remantles shit.
Hey, man. I mantled my desk. I mantled it out of glass. I did not.
Oh.
I hope you're enjoying our tech talk.
I am good with tech talks.
I know you are. I am not. Because I'm an idiot.
I'm just a
fucking nerd.
You're the pot or the kettle in this situation. How long did you gush about Star Trek earlier?
It was only for about maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, bullshit. We talked about the movies and everything.
Okay, 5 minutes. Hey, if Ian and John Turley were here, it would be like...
I love listening to them talk about Star Trek. I might not like watching it, but people who enjoy it, I love listening to them talk about it. It makes me wish I liked it.
Well, I will say that if we get some Star Trek fans in here, I guarantee that would create the new longest episode on the podcast. That would be like a 5-6 hour podcast. Unedited. No, edited.
Oh,
edited. Because, let's be honest, our longest episode was over 5 hours unedited.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours and 45 minutes before I stripped that shit down.
Yeah, it was a long boy. There was a lot of drinking. Let's not forget the drinking.
Now I'm thirsty.
What you drinking there?
Dr. Pepper.
Hell yeah.
I am now like the most hated person at Panera Bread. T-Mobile did this thing where you can get their Sip Club shit for $3 a month for like 5 months. And what it is you can go on there and every 2 hours you can get a free drink at Panera Bread. Now, I don't know what their standard pricing for this shit is, but according to their little thing where it like pops up a little, you've saved this much money, with the implication of please stop doing it, I've already saved like $150 because I quit like taking my own drinks when I'm working.
Yeah.
It's just every couple hours I'll pull over there and stop and get another free drink.
And it's like, what the hell are you doing? It's just like, free drink.
Like, motherfucker, I paid my $3.
That sounds like something I would do were I drinking more soda. But basically at this point, because I never want to have another kidney stone, I stopped drinking soda.
Well, you can do it and get their fancy herbal teas and shit, or coffee.
Do I look like someone that drinks herbal tea?
I don't see how anybody drinks that nasty ass shit, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know either, and I sure as hell don't drink coffee. How do I get my caffeine in the morning? Advanced GG.
I got a bottle of No-Dos that I down with my coffee, and then I chase it with a Red Bull.
Advanced GG, if you want to sponsor us, please let me know. I've been buying your product for over a year now.
I think at this point you'd probably just settle for a fucking coupon.
Oh, they send me coupons, and I'm friends with someone in another Discord where he is sponsored by them. It's just like, yep, this weekend use my promo code and you can get like 30% off. It's just like, hell yeah. What's this? A buy one get one free sale? Hell yes.
We would instantly lose that sponsorship if we got it, because if they give us any at all control over our coupon code, like, all right, well, theme it after your show. What do you want it to be? Jeff's balls.
Hey, if they have a sense of humor, then good on them.
That's how you know you get a sponsor you like.
What?
Get sponsored by Blue Chew. Use our code Jeff's Balls for 20% off at checkout.
You too can have balls as big as his.
No. We're getting into false advertising now. A lot of things happened when I took Blue Chew. Bigger balls wasn't on the list.
Well, that's just unacceptable. We need to contact Blue Chew and be like, hey, you need to create a new chew that just enhances balls. What does that do for your sex life? Nothing. It's all about bragging rights. If you have big balls for more than 4 hours, hell yeah.
Well, they would give more sound effect depending on positioning.
Yes, but that if you are very sweaty and they're really dangling, that could be a occupational hazard.
Especially if you got a cat.
Which I do.
Who likes to sick balls.
So everyone, basically what I am describing is my everyday to-day life.
More supportive underwear.
I will say I've been wearing boxer briefs. They're very comfortable. Much better than just loose boxers where it's like, oh yeah, they're just dangling. It's like, you want the freedom, don't you? It's just like, no, because then they'll just get tucked in a very weird position. I sit down, it's like, God, son of a bitch! Time out!
At least once every 2 weeks during the summer when it gets hot as shit, my wife will see me get into the car, sit on one of my nuts, and squeal like a little girl. And be like, what the fuck is your problem?
It's like, you wouldn't understand.
Like, your reproductive organs are internal. You don't know my pain.
Who the hell is running behind me? One of the cats.
It's the Slenderman.
I told him to stay away from me.
You're looking to see if your balls are hanging out again.
He's just coming around and be like, hey, give your balls a tug, tit fucker. It's like, Slenderman, that is not your saying.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of dangly balls and the Slenderman, welcome to Dane and Jeff's Media Dump. I'm your host, Mr. L. Dane Puzzles Esquire, Mr. Puzzles Short Dane for shorter. And with me, as always, because we named the fucking show after him, he slices, he dices, he's got huge nuts, Mr. Grumpy Jeff. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Well, first off, that's false advertising. You named 2 shows after me.
Well, true. But we've only had B-roll up. You only have one.
Hey, by the way, when am I going to start getting my my pay for residuals for you using my name for your other podcast?
I tell you what, you can have 100% of the money I'm making right now on it.
Deal. We'll settle the deal by a high five. High five the camera. That was perfect sync. We did it. We're awesome. That's the show. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yeah, it's not going to get better than that.
We already had the best discussions.
Oh, so what have you been up to, Jeff? How's it going?
No new updates with the plumbing. I mean, last time I think I said that the plumbing has been fixed. I took a gander at it and everything looks good. Now we're just waiting for the maintenance guy to come around next week to begin the construction process of fixing my wall and ceiling. The only new update I can add, though, has nothing to do with my home. It has everything to do with my wife's car, which...
Shit.
It didn't take a dump, but in terms of it just like... it's like, oh, you need a oil change. Oh, by the way, the anti-lock brake light, the brake light, the traction control light, all that came on at once. So I was like, okay, logical deduction suggests hopefully it's just one of those wheel speed sensors. No. Apparently the actual computer took a shit. The module that controls the anti-lock brakes. So that needs to get replaced. She needs new spark plugs, and she needs new tires. All this is going to cost about $3,000.
It fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we have enough money saved, so it's like she'll be able to pay for the repairs, no problem. But it's just frustrating. It's like, okay, what a nice day. It's the weekend. Oh no, let's take the car in. Oh yeah, by the way, your car just took a shit. Now she could drive around with it still. You know, she still have normal brakes, minus anti-lock brakes. Tires, yes, she needs new tires, but that would be like $500-$600, so it's not the worst. The car still runs fine, even with the spark plugs that are currently used. So it's just like everything. She could still drive it, but she gets very nervous when something like this gets out of the ordinary. So it's like, okay, we'll take care of it, and we'll bite the bullet and just pay for the repairs when they're done. But it's just like, ugh.
It's always something.
Oh yeah.
Like, so you've got that going on with the car, and I was just pissed at mine because the spring that holds my trunk open broke on me yesterday.
This is your Honda?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? My wife's car is a Toyota. I thought these things are supposed to be indestructible.
Oh, well, I mean, the engine's fine, but I've probably, like, got something caught on it, put it in a bind, and it just finally worked loose. But the way the springs are set up in the trunk on that one, it's these two bars that crisscross and, you know, pops it up whenever you hit the button and then holds it up when you've opened it up. And it finally gave you yesterday. It's a kitty.
Yeah, they're dark. Hold on. Let me shine some light on them. Can you see them?
Yep.
Both of them?
Oh, shit. The other one was hiding good.
She's very camouflaged. But yeah, apart from that, you know, just working, I've been watching the show 1923, which is one of the spin-off shows for Yellowstone, and watching it has caused me to do another playthrough of guess what game?
Grand Theft Auto.
Fuck that.
Force Edition.
Yes. I started another playthrough of Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get into that one, and finding the time to dedicate it to it has been just a nightmare.
It's frustrating because, you know, it's just like, well, hold on, Jeff. I thought you have The Witcher 3, which is supposed to be like one of the best. My God. Crazy cats. It's supposed to be like one of the best open world adventure RPGs of all time. It's just like, yes, I have it. It's downloaded on my PS5. I'd rather play Red Dead 2.
I mean, you like what you like.
I mean, I do, but it's just like, it's just like, well, hold on. Don't you want to play something new and exciting? It's like, yes, I do. But Red Dead 2.
Horse nut physics. Come on.
If you have a boy.
Well, you know, that's kind of a given.
But yeah, no, just, it's pretty much all I've been doing. How about you? What's new and exciting with you?
Well, me and the wife just finished the new season of Black Mirror.
Okay, yes.
And that has got me wanting to, like, go for all the old anthology, horror-y, sci-fi stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, like, now I'm wanting to go, like, watch some old episodes of fucking, like, Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt and shit like that.
All right.
Because that's kind of how Black Mirror plays to me. It really reminds me of those types of shows, which felt like they were everywhere back when we were kids.
Because they were everywhere. They had, Tales from the Crypt. You had, what was it, like, wasn't Wishbone kind of like a anthology?
Yeah, Wishbone was an anthology.
You also had
it was for books. I think Outer Limits, wasn't that an anthology?
I think so. And obviously the biggest one for us, well, you had a couple. You had Goosebumps, and you had Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah.
So yes, they were prevalent when we were growing up.
But yeah, I'm getting that kind of itch. Haven't actually pulled the trigger and hunted it down to streaming it. But other than that, and you know, we can actually use this one to segue into the show's main topic. I took the kid to go watch the new Minecraft movie.
All right. How was that? I've been hearing good things.
Way better than it had any right to be.
That's usually video game. I mean, the Sonic movies, the Mario movie. They and they were better than they had any right to be. But before we segue, I know we try to have nice, smooth segues into our topic, but this is the question I need to ask you to determine my next pick.
Okay.
Have you pulled the trigger and purchased American Truck Simulator?
Not yet.
All right. You just determined my pick. If my next pick, if that doesn't make you pull the trigger, then I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to do pull a Dane style campaign. But we will discuss the topic or my pick at the end of the episode.
Alrighty. Well, a couple other things I want to talk about on the Minecraft maybe before we actually cut in.
Yes, go ahead.
So, I think this was probably the most pure video game adaptation I've ever seen.
How do you mean?
Because you can tell, like, there's a plot, but they're like, yeah, the plot doesn't matter. It's just an excuse for, hey, where everybody's in Minecraft. They wholesale just put the game mechanics in the movie. It's like, yeah, this is the way things work.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Momoa's character in it, the Garbage Man, which he doesn't play a garbage man, that's just his nickname. I'm pretty sure he's my spirit animal. And which I think Dalton and Kana might have met your spirit animal the other day. I'll get to that in a second. Because half the lines that he had in the movie resulted in my wife leaning over and go, you do that same fucking shit all the time. Like one of his running gags is he'll say something in Spanish and then mistranslate it. Yeah, via con Dios. That means be safe, my friend. No, it doesn't. Don't look at her, look at me. It does. No, it doesn't. Shh.
I like Jason Momoa. I think he's a pretty good actor.
Now, another movie that he did that my daughter absolutely loves as well. You remember the Little Nemo game and/or movie?
Yes.
All right. They adapted that for a Netflix movie.
Do I remember this? When did it come out?
A few years ago. It's pretty recent.
I think I remember the hype around.
Yeah, Slumberland.
Yeah.
And he plays the creepy clown, Flip. But in this adaptation, he looks more like a satyr. And I absolutely loved that movie. Like, when I was first watching, I was like, we turned it on not knowing that it was what it was. I didn't realize that this was going to be a Little Nemo adaptation when we started. I just thought, oh, this looks fun. I think the kid was going to enjoy it. And then the little girl's name is Nemo, and I'm like, that's odd. A movie about Slumberland, and the character's a kid named Nemo. Huh. And then she runs into a guy in her dreams who calls himself Flip. I'm like, hold on a fucking minute. And then by the end of the movie, I'm crying like a baby.
It's just so beautiful.
No, it's fucking sad. It's a good movie. But yeah, damn.
I haven't seen it, but I get maybe it's if it's still on Netflix, I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, it's a Netflix original, so it's still on there.
Well then, I will have to give it a watch because does it still try to follow the same animation as the original, or is it more...
No, it's live action. Well, as adaptations go, they take a lot of creative liberties, but they make it its own thing. And yeah, it's actually really good.
But it's live action.
I mean, there's no Nightmare King, but
it's live action. You know my problem with live action. This is true.
It's not a Disney live action remake. It's a Netflix live action adaptation.
And I'll be honest, I did like the Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah, see? But, they're adapting the ideas of it, not, taking the story and going, hey, let's make this but real.
Mm-hmm.
Very loose adaptation.
All right.
But yeah, it's a good one.
So you're saying this is better than Borderlands, which I believe Borderlands...
Set a higher bar.
Hold on. I think Borderlands... I just want to take a quick look, because I do believe the Borderlands movie got, nothing on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's still got a better score than Snow White.
It got a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, and hold on, let me... So 10%... No? Somehow it got a 40%. Those are the Disney fans that just think Disney can't go wrong. Listeners, Disney can go wrong.
Are you saying Snow White's got a 40%?
Yes.
Yeah, that's padded.
Oh, it's definitely.
Because IMDb had it at the new record low. It beat Dragon Ball Evolution for the bottom of the list.
Yeah, even Borderlands on IMDb is getting a 4.7 out of 10. So, what we're telling you is, don't watch Snow White. I'll eventually watch Borderlands when it starts streaming.
Yeah, Snow White's IMDb rating with 344,000 ratings. Do you want to guess, Jeff, or are you looking at it?
No, I'm not. I'm still looking at Borderlands. Go ahead. Or how many?
Mini
ratings?
quiz.
Snow White on IMDb.
344,000 people out of 10 to the first decimal point. What do you think?
1.7.
Close. 1.6.
Ooh.
Disney's
Damn.
like, your movie's terrible. Hold my beer.
Well, good. That movie needed to die. That needed to crash and burn. I'm glad it did. Hopefully this changes perspective of what Disney is doing right now. I guarantee it won't. But
well, they want to make movies, every time they do a female protagonist, they want to make her a girl boss or a Mary Sue.
And in the long run, you make her an idiot because it's like, this character is intelligent. Okay, you're making her do something stupid that an intelligent person wouldn't do.
Like, I wonder how many Germans are yelling cultural appropriation over this movie.
I couldn't tell. One thing I did notice, though, on apparently the new Accountant movie got like an 80... Damn it already vanished. I saw it got like an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's good.
What movie is that now?
The Accountant 2.
I'm unfamiliar with The Accountant 1.
Oh, it's one of my... I'll add it to my list sometime here, because I absolutely love that movie. It's Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, John Bernthal, John Lithgow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
That's some
movies.
fucking names.
It's one of my favorite movies. One of two movies I saw twice in theaters. Do you want to know what the other movie it is I saw twice or more than twice in theaters?
Did it involve stars and treks?
No, it doesn't. It actually involves my pick for this episode, Tron Legacy.
All right, so that cat's out of the bag. So
We like smooth transitions on this show.
if you remember, the assignment was your pick for the best video game movie, and you went with Tron Legacy.
Yes, I did.
All right, you're now on trial, Jeff. By the whole internet
Hello, Internet.
is like, the whole internet is looking at you.
The whole Internet.
How is Tron?
The whole Internet, all 30 of you.
30 is being very generous.
I know someone immediately off the bat, Nate, is like, fuck you! Tron Legacy is not a video game movie. Here is my first
Defend
argument.
yourself.
Here is my first argument. Tron Legacy
Okay.
is the sequel to the first Tron movie. And the first Tron movie came out, hold on, in 1980... Damn it, my internet just took a dive. There it goes. Came out in 1982. To be specific, July of 1982. The video game itself, the arcade game, came out August of 1982. So therefore, the two had to be in development at the same time. Meaning, it's not like, well, the game is based off the movie. That might be the case, but since they were developed at the same time, that means they're based off each other. Therefore, Tron is a video game movie.
Tron is a movie video game. That was back when you could make video games in less than a year. But, you know, it is a movie set within a game. So, I'll allow it. I don't know that it's the best game movie, but yeah.
Well, hold on. Well,
I can say it can meet the criteria.
oh, it definitely meets the criteria. If you think it doesn't meet the criteria, well, you're wrong. They have made numerous games. Obviously, you have the arcade cabinets back in the 80s. And then even they made Tron Evolution, which was a PS3 game, I believe, and this would have been about Xbox 360 as well, and that's supposed to be based on the events of Tron Legacy. I think is it a sequel or a prequel? All I know is that it's supposed to be. It takes place on the events from Legacy, and also let's put it like this: Jeff Bridges, Kevin Flynn. He was a video game developer. It's the same. It's the same argument.
Logic,
but it's the same argument. People say like, "Oh, the View Askew universe." Kevin Smith. Those movies, they're comic book movies. Okay, so they're movies about comic books. Like Mallrats. It's a movie about comic book writers. People say those are that's a comic book movie. Jeff Bridges, Kevin Flynn, video game developer, video game movie.
Well, using that logic, The Matrix is a video game movie.
It is. I'll absolutely agree with that.
I'm changing my pick.
One of these has the better soundtrack.
Well, I know which one you're going to say, and you know which one I'm going to say.
Yes. The soundtrack you're going to pick is My Little Pony.
All right, look, the only reason I've ever watched My Little Pony is I have a 7-year-old girl.
The only reason I ever watched My Little Pony, and yes, it's been around since like the 80s, it's just because I need something to watch for a half hour before my manly cartoon came on.
What, Speed Racer?
Hey, that was in the evenings. It was usually something like Ren and Stimpy or Rocko's Modern Life. Or Doug.
Oh,
hold on. We don't want to get flagged.
Oh, I'm nowhere near on key. Doug was good until Disney ruined it. Or was that ABC?
No, it was Doug.
I think it was Disney.
It was Disney.
All right, yeah.
We don't talk about that. So, are you really changing your pick, or are you sticking with your original?
Oh no, I'm gonna stick with my original because it's much better rage bait than The Matrix, and I do eventually want to cover the Matrix movies on their own.
Hey man, it has the same concept as a popular video game genre. It's a roguelike. The movie you picked...
you're talking about my pick?
Yes. The movie you picked is... it's a roguelike concept. It's like, okay, you have a mission. You died. Alright, how can I now do better next time? Yep. Okay, start the run.
So my pitch for the best video game movie was Source Code, Jake Gyllenhaal. Because the entire plot of the film plays, like you said, doing the same fucking level over and over and over. You die, alright, try again. You die, try again, alright, try. So, Tron Legacy, that everyone's at least passingly familiar with Tron. I know a lot of people, whenever I mention Source Code, have a, what are you talking about reaction. I don't know why this movie apparently was either not remembered or not super popular with the people that I've talked to. But it's a really good movie. Basic premise being... Yeah, what did you say?
No, I was just going to say, it is. I watched it, and it was really good. I don't understand, because it was basically like a $32 million budget, but it took home $147 million. So people saw it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
No one seems to remember it.
Yeah, it just... I'm not... It didn't win any awards. It's just like this thing was just like forgotten. It came out and it was forgotten. Whereas Tron, they are still doing stuff with it. Granted, they are making a new movie with a fucking dick, Jared Leto, and I hate him. But they're still doing stuff with him. And occasionally they'll still throw a game out based on that the IP.
I think it's just the fact that there is, pun incoming, a lot of legacy with Tron. But, Source Code was one of the things that Hollywood doesn't do anymore, which is an original concept that's not based on anything.
No.
But the whole premise, Jake Gyllenhaal plays, I think it's Captain Coulter Stevens, I think is the character name.
Yes.
Who is in a system called the Source Code. And there was a incident on a train. The Source Code essentially drops him into the body of one of the passengers on the train. And he has, 2 minutes?
8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Figure 8 minutes. far more reasonable amount of time.
But
It's been
before you continue, I just want to say this movie takes place in Chicago, and it's like, you know, something horrible is supposed to happen in Chicago. It's like, well, that's just every other Tuesday. The only difference is
the trains blow up every other Tuesday.
we don't talk about it, or at least the news doesn't. No, granted, the events in this movie are a little more significant than, you know, just a little kerfuffle happening in the slums of Chicago.
Oh, which apparently there was a shooting a couple of miles away from where I was working today, going around doing deliveries, because I got stopped in an intersection. A cop pulled up in the middle, blocked traffic, and then like 2 minutes later, a dozen police cars come speeding down the highway at full speed, and then he jumped back in the truck and went after them.
Damn.
And from what we could find, just quick Googling, was somebody got shot.
Damn.
I didn't hear a bunch of gunfire, so I guess it was, you know, put down quick, but yeah.
Damn.
Unusual for Boone.
What?
Anyway, so
Continue with
8 minutes.
Continue with your explanation.
Find who has planted the bomb, get us a name. So this machine can create like a little pocket universe, drops him into it, and he's playing, you know, the same 8-minute level over and over from start to finish on a loop, trying to get more information, mystery movie style, figure out who done it. And after he's got the information, like, all right, we know who the guy is, so that they in real life can go get this dude before a bigger bomb goes off. And the punchline is, well, this is very real to him. He wants to see if he can stop the guy and save the girl, because when he pops into the source code simulation, there's a girl right there in front of him that knows who he is now in the body of, and is really confused that he is acting so weird.
The person he's playing, or in the person he's inhabiting, is like a teacher, I think, or
yeah, I think he's like a college level professor.
Correct. Yes, we should mention that the woman he keeps appearing across from every time he enters the source code is Michelle Monaghan, who is a pretty attractive woman.
Yeah, and over the course of reliving this 8 minutes over and over and over, you know,
which is dozens of times,
smitten with her. You know, he's become smitten with her, but he wants to go in and save her. And they're like, you know, it's not real, right? He's like, please let me try. So Goodwin, against orders, boots up, lets him go and do this final run. And he pulls it off, gets the perfect ending, and as his 8 minutes is going up, the Coulter Stevens in real life, who is officially dead, but they have his body on life support and have him plugged into this supercomputer to run the source code program. She pulls the plug on his life support, and the plot twist happens. If you don't want to know now, skip forward a minute. The 8 minutes is up. Since he's on his life support is pulled, he keeps to keep continuing on in this pocket universe that they have plugged into. And, you know, he contacts the people at the Source Code Project, where a version of him is still on life support in this little pocket universe, to let them know, hey, this has happened. Be there for him when he's needed. And then the next day is when the nightmare begins, because that's when, you know, this happy ending is going to fall to shit, because he's now in a body of a person. He has no idea who his family is, what his work is. He has all these memories that are not his own, and he has essentially plugged his soul into another body, and now it's going to keep creating pocket universes where this same shit goes over and over again, and it turns into an existential nightmare when you think about it.
Oh, it certainly does. It's just one of those things. It's like, we need to have a happy ending. It's just like, okay, by doing this happy ending, you're just opening up a can of you're just asking for a lot of questions. People are like, the fuck were you trying to achieve with this ending?
I mean, it's a happy ending.
It is a happy ending.
Think too hard about it.
It is a happy ending. I really liked the movie, and I was like, okay, that was a very sweet ending. I have questions, but it was very sweet.
Very sweet ending. What happens tomorrow?
Whereas the ending for Tron Legacy is just like, oh, it's just giving you this picture of hope. It's like, what the possibilities of what's to come. Did you watched it, right?
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Okay, so the ending for Tron Legacy, again, if you haven't I haven't watched it, don't want spoilers, skip a minute or so. Cora, played by Olivia Wilde, is supposed to have the answers to basically, how to describe it, basically just unlock all of the scientific potential. Just everything is in her mind. She becomes a real person, and it's like one of the things that she says is, I've never felt the sun. So, the last image is she and Sam, Kevin Flynn's son, are riding on a bike, on a brand new morning. She stares and feels the sun's warmth for the first time, and it's just like what are the possibilities that the two can achieve, and that's it. And that's what makes me sad is this story I don't think is going to continue. This is going to, from what I've seen, this new Tron Legacy is its own standalone sequel. It has nothing to do with previous movies. It's just like, why would you do that?
I don't know. Yep.
I will say, in terms of style, you watched Speed Racer a number of times since you first watched it.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm sure you've really come to appreciate and love the style that the Wachowskis did with that movie.
Yeah, after my eyes stopped bleeding, I was able to appreciate the movie, and I do enjoy it.
I don't think a movie gets close to that kind of style. I think Tron Legacy is the only one that gets close to that sort of style. And it's still nowhere near what it was nowhere near as able to achieve Speed Racer did.
So I know that I have been in the room while the original Tron was on when I was a kid. I've never actually watched the original Tron, but I'm familiar with the basic premise of it. So coming into Tron Legacy, there was a lot of, I had to make a lot of assumptions watching this movie. I do like the style, that kind of retro-futuristic type deal, digital retro-futurism. So it did have points on style. But the whole time, from the moment that Jeff Bridges is on screen, I never once believed that he was playing anything but the dude from The Big Lebowski.
I've made that joke many times. At the very end, again, spoilers, the only way he was able to defeat Clue is because he was able to unleash his inner dude.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's just... Jeff Bridges is just so damn charming in that movie, and he has some of the most iconic... I'm not sure if they're iconic, but definitely some of the most fun quotes. Like, ones I still like to quote is, "Biodigital jazz, man." And quite possibly my favorite is, "Sam, you're messing with my Zen thing, man."
Yeah, that was my quote from the movie. Because he said that, and I'm like, yeah, he's just still playing the dude.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how close this was filmed to The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski came out in 98, so 12 years.
Wow. So I didn't watch most of the Coen films as they came out.
Well, I didn't either.
I took Raising Arizona was the exception. Because I grew up watching that movie on repeat.
I didn't watch Fargo until 10 years release.
But I took a big kick where I just kind of binged all of their movies about 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, just there was so much of that kind of vibe to it that I just kind of assumed they had to have been filmed close together. Because, there were a couple of times where I kept expecting him to look at what was the evil Flynn's name? Clue?
Clue.
All right. I have slept since I watched this movie. We were planning to do this episode 2 months ago.
I know, a lot of stuff has happened, and we're just like, fuck it. Kurt Russell.
But, I kept expecting Clue to say some big evil thing, and Flynn to look at him and go, well, that's just your opinion, man.
No, nothing like that. I definitely would have made the movie a whole lot better, but that didn't happen.
And as much as I wanted to shit on the digital de-aging effects that they did, because Clue looks like a young Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
For the most part in the movie, they did do smart camera tricks to kind of not linger on his face too much.
It also helps that a lot of the times you do see him, it's just okay, we're in a computer world. it makes sense why he would look like this. It's only at the very beginning and at the very end when it looks the most.
Yeah, and that's when you're getting the most long cuts on his face.
Yes.
Like at one point when he's giving a big speech to all of the people in the city, like they shot at the dramatic behind angle, so he's kind of a silhouette facing away from the camera, and you're focused on the crowd that he's speaking to.
Yeah.
To emphasize, he's in control, he's powerful, and this, that, and the other. But it has the added benefit of you can't see the face.
He's the Citizen Kane in this moment.
Yeah, a movie we totally watched.
And we talked about in full length last episode.
Yeah, extensively. It was covered very well.
We did. No tangents at all. It was all Citizen Kane.
But
no, some things I liked about Source Code. I love the concept. I love it's like this is a roguelike. This is like me trying to do. Wait, what? No, I'm sorry. My mind is blown all of a sudden. I'm just looking at the cast. I did not realize that Scott Bakula was the voice of Coulter's dad.
Wasn't he a captain for the Enterprise at some point?
He was the captain. He was the first captain of the Enterprise, NX-01, the first Starfleet ship that could travel at warp 5.
See, now it's my turn to smile and nod.
I'm sorry. That just blew my mind. But some other things, or some things I liked. I love the concept of this is a roguelike. It's like me trying to play Hades. It's like I need to have that perfect run. And it's something that you get from him. It's just like I need to have... At first, it's just like I need to accomplish the mission. It's just like I need to do this. But then it's just like the same with any other video game. Is like I've grown attached to these NPCs. I want to help them. I want them to be okay. So that's why the sudden turn for him is just like I need to do this.
The only thing that he didn't have to make this like the perfect adaptation of video game mechanics in a film is he didn't have his genocide run where he just went through and killed everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh, I think that was supposed... Apparently, Groundhog's Day, there was supposed to be like a... I'm not sure if it was like one of the more darker tones during one of its rewrites. It was like Bill Murray was just supposed to like kill everyone because he's just so fed up with it. But
yeah, the closest they came to that was his suicide montage.
And then he kept punching, he punched Ned Ryerson.
Hi, Ned. Wham!
Ned Ryerson, I've missed you. Do you need to go into work? Can't you call off? I gotta go. Good seeing you. But I'm trying to think, why was he having, he was having mechanical malfunctions. Was that caused by the failures, or is that just because his brain synapses? I mean, obviously, we know the actual twist, but like at one point in the movie, the entire time when we see Jake Gyllenhaal working, he's supposed to be in like this sphere, enclosed sphere, and at one point it's just like cold water or something just starts entering the sphere, and it's like. Was that just because his brain was having an issue, or is that just because he kept failing?
I think that was supposed to be something about like the strain the system was putting on him,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end, I forget the dude's name, but the guy who was over the project essentially was planning on wipe his memories so that we'll be able to use them again.
It was played by Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah. I'm assuming that it's a case of strain that it's putting on him, running it over and over and over. But when you see his body, he's like missing limbs. He's on life support. Looks like you've got him in a vacuum seal bag, is how I remember it.
I think his brain, or like his skull, is like burned away. So like you see his brain. He's like he is. I think literally he is dead. The only thing that's keeping him alive is all the machines. Yeah. I will say I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched that movie. That was a big, whoa, what the fuck moment. But But a fun little Easter egg that links into a conversation you and me were having in chat last night with my card game obsessions.
Mm.
Uh, the code name for the project, or the place, Beleaguered Castle, and how they always bring them, back to with the playing cards sequence thing.
Yeah.
Beleaguered Castle is a solitaire variant.
I do love solitaire. I'm not a card game kind of guy, so Balatro, fuck it, I don't care. But solitaire,
dude,
I enjoy it.
Kana, hey, Kana, remember, he doesn't know better. Forgive him for what he has said.
I know everything. Balatro, fuck it. I know. I am pissing off all 6 of you.
Dude, keep that needle out of your vein.
Hey man, I already piss off a lot of people when I say, Wind Waker sucks. Final Fantasy VI is boring. Fuck. What's another thing? Because
the Final Fantasy VII remakes a ripoff. That's one that you've gone off on.
Yeah, but I don't think that one's a hot take. I think a lot of people agree with me on that sentiment.
I think the people who play it like it.
Well,
but the people who haven't played it yet are inclined to agree with you.
Well, the only thing I'll say, no, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to be like, if they ever do a cheap version where it's all 3 games in one, like they did with Mass Effect Legacy Edition, I might give it a chance. But it's Square Enix. I can't imagine them doing that.
There will inevitably be a, 3-game bundle when they finish it all off.
And it's still going to be over $100, which is what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be priced at.
If they actually follow through and do that, that will be the most pirated game in the history of video games.
I can agree with that.
But there will be people who pay it. But that is not going to be how most people play it.
There's going to be people that are going to pay like $150 for the deluxe edition, just because it's probably like, it's going to give me some extras for the online mode. It's like, the online mode's going to be shit. Because apparently I think they're making a lot of changes. It's not going to be the same like they 5 online.
The only thing I don't like, because me personally, I don't give a shit about Grand Theft Auto. They can price it for whatever they want. I'm not paying it regardless. I'm not going to play the game. The one thing I don't like is that they're trying to set the precedent to get games over that hump.
Yeah.
And back in the day, like, you had the high price big games, and then you had the games that knew what they were. Like, they didn't release at the full retail price. They're like, no, this was a cheaper game, smaller budget. Say if the full game's $50, and here's the smaller games, like maybe $35-$40, and then you had the slop that was like $15 to $20. You knew what you were getting for it, but now everything comes out at whatever that top price point they can get away with is.
Yes. And you also have to remember, include inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So a game back in the 90s, like an N64 game, it was priced at say $60, $60, which is probably about the average of most of the games at the time.
I think when PS3 came out was when the standard price jumped from the $50 price tag to a $60 price tag. Could have been PS2, but I think PS3.
I think PS2 was still like $40-$50.
I think they were $50 pop. But you were also printing physical media.
Correct.
You were shipping physical media. Like, there were so many other factors involved. Now, everything's digital. Damn near everybody has their own personal storefront. So yeah, you're losing 30% selling it through, say, Steam. But you have infinite copies with no production cost for the actual making the thing. Steam covers all the server costs as far as like digital distribution. So you don't have to pay Steam anything for people to download your game.
But it's just amazing. It's like, you would think because you don't have to make or do that extra development for physical media, we can sell the games for cheaper. We're still going to charge it to you because here's the thing. People will pay it. Everyone will always... You'll see all these comments like, I am not going to pay $80 for the new Mario. I'm not going to pay $100 for a new Grand Theft Auto. It's like, you will.
I won't.
No, I definitely will. Like, no, I don't give a damn about anything on the Switch, right? Grand Theft Auto, I could care less. Yeah, there is nothing on the market that's gonna be coming out soon that I remotely care about. The only two is Hades 2, and I don't know if that's strictly a Switch 2 release. Then I'm just not gonna play it until the Switch 2 eventually becomes cheap, which it's Nintendo, it never will. And Light No Fire, which the Hello Games new game. That's like a fantasy No Man's Sky.
Well, there is a reason that Nintendo cracked down so hard on Switch emulators. You know, Yuzu and whatever the other big one was. There's not going to take much to take that code and up it to a Switch 2 game. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
The architecture is too similar. The Switch 2 is just a souped-up Switch.
I don't know what Nintendo is, why they won't create like a Steam archive. I mean, if you have to do a monthly subscription to play all Nintendo games, I mean, yes, you can already do it with like the Switch, Switch Online, but that's a limited number of games. If they released every game on a Nintendo Steam, Nintendo Archive like Steam or Good Old Games or something like that, people would pay it.
Well, I think what it really comes down to is Nintendo hates money.
No, I think they love money. They hate people because they will innovate something that no one asks for.
I don't think that they hate people as much as Western devs hate their players.
Maybe. That's a toss-up.
Because, well, like, how many times have you heard interviews with Western devs where they, like, are screaming, if you think this game's going to be bad, then, you know, it's not for you, or, you know, the problem is the players are expecting too much. We heard a lot about that when Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Mm. It's unrealistic, you know, but players are expecting too much if they expect us to be able to make a game like Baldur's Gate 3. Well, Larian Studios made Baldur's Gate 3, and by strict definition, they're an independent studio, so what's your excuse?
No, it's a fair point. It's a strong point.
Like, that's why I'm so happy to see all of these big AAA games failing right now.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, if these games don't sell, these people are going to lose their jobs. Well, yeah, good.
Then maybe the IP will go to a different company that loves their fans and will be able to develop something that people have been asking for a long time. Star Fox.
If you're not making games for your audience, then who are you making them for?
It's a strong point.
So if you're not making it for your audience, then your studio should shut down so that someone who will make games for the existing audience can do what they're supposed to do. That's how free markets work.
Yeah. Or just be a developer that just focuses on one genre of gameplay, like FromSoft. They just focus on making Souls-likes.
And that's not even the only thing they do. That's just like what most of their catalog has been refining that formula.
Yeah. And they ended up making an open world Souls-like game, which was a Game of the Year, which I got earned me a lot of money that. Thank you, Elden Ring.
Well, honestly, it earned it, and like I love Souls-like games, and I played that at a time when I thought that just the fact that a game was open world meant I shouldn't give it the time of day because I hated open world, and I thought that it was just the unicorn. That's the open world that I happen to like, and now I know it. No, it's just a case of I don't like Bethesda open world games.
They're rough because it just seems like that it never ends, which they do. There are certain missions or quests. I can't remember what the term is called, but it never ends. It's just like, oh, you complete...
Like the Radiant thing?
Radiant quests, thank you. It's like, you completed the quest. Oh, you need to help this settlement. Fuck that settlement. So, yeah. No, I get it. Bethesda open world games are a lot tougher to get into. But when you come across a open world game, Witcher 3, people love. A lot of people love a Cyberpunk now. Elden Ring, Red Dead 2,
The Breath of the Wild games.
Breath of the Wild. When they hit a certain demographic, and eventually it's just like word of mouth, tell people, no, this is not just a good open world game. It's a good game.
Like, you can do it right.
Well, sure, yes.
But so many studios have been like, open world, that's the hotness. Let's make another open world game.
Now everything at this point is like everything needs to be open world. It's just like developers, dudes. The market still, the people still want a nice short 5 to 15 hour game that's linear. It's like people still ask for that.
Yeah, but it doesn't have, multiplayer, live service. There's no skin shop in a game like that. But
it's
the leaderboards, Jeff. The leaderboards.
You're talking to someone that's just like, man, I need to get all the achievements. I need to get all the trophies. I'm just like, I activate cheats and put in mods, and that disables the achievements.
Why don't they just say what they mean with the Steam achievements and have achievements labeled for how much money you've spent in the cash shop?
How much of your life have you wasted getting platinuming this game? How much of your life have you wasted trying to get everything achieved on retro?
Achievements are fun whenever the achievements are guiding you to do the things in a game.
Yes, but when it's asking you, it's like, you need to play this game for 1,000 hours and collect 2 million lavender flowers. It's just like, no, I'm good. You need to beat this boss on expert level while wearing only a Speedo, unarmed. It's just like, no. I mean, if that's your thing, if you love doing those kinds of achievements, which we're friends with a bunch that do, keep doing what you're doing. But it's just like, some people just love a simple game, or it's just like, I just don't give a damn. I play games for fun.
Well, if you look at the achievements list for Elden Ring, it is very achievable to completely 100% Elden Ring if you're decent at the game.
Yeah.
Because essentially beat all of the bosses in the game, not the main bosses, not the, individual dungeon bosses, because a bunch of those are copy-paste type deals.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the main bosses in the game, beat all of them. There's 3 different endings. Get all 3 endings. And, collect all the unique weapons, which, if you've got a guide, because there's 2 you can miss, if you've got a guide, you can do that in a single run-through.
How many games have you 100%ed? Including achievements, all that. Like, you've done everything in the game requires you to get 100%. I can tell you off the bat, I've only done it twice. That was for the first Red Dead Redemption, and Assassin's Creed 2.
So if you take out of the equation the bullshit that I did with the visual novels for Backlog Golf last year.
Yes.
So visual novels are off because essentially that is just you hit all the endings.
You read the story. Well done.
Yeah.
You platinumed the game.
So you take that sort of thing out of the equation. 4 or 5.
Yeah. I don't care. Speedrunning is the same. The only game I would ever consider speedrunning would be Star Fox Assault. But even still, it's just like, I've looked up the speedrun for, I think the fastest time is 45 minutes. It's like, I'm never going to get that good to get that close to that time. So it's just like, I don't care.
Most of the times that I have 100% achieved on games was just a byproduct of, this is a game that I really like, and I wound up doing that as a side effect. With Nier Automata, I wanted to do all the things in that game because I had that much fun with it. And in the process of doing that, I wound up with all the achievements. And the really funny thing about Nier Automata is there's actually a shop where you can go and spend in-game currency
Hmm.
that you've earned to purchase the achievement to pop up on Steam. Like, oh, for whatever reason you don't want to have to do this thing, you can actually go in that store and pay like this many million gold or whatever
Uh-huh.
credits, and it'll give you the achievement. Which I found out after I'd 100%ed it. That was just one of those like, huh, wow, that would have been handy if that's what I was aiming for.
No, I guess it's just like, but this game is just, it's special. I want to experience everything. There's a couple games I've done that with, like Final Fantasy IX, Zelda, Twilight Princess, but I've still never 100% of those games just because there's some stuff that I might never be able, or I just did it out of turn. It's just like I missed my chance, and I don't feel like starting a new.
Like, if I was able to copy my old Devil May Cry 3 save from the PS2 and plug it into the PC
Mhm.
where there's actually achievements, and it would just read my save and do that, I probably 100%ed it. Because back in the day, I played the shit out of that game, and I had S ranks on all the missions through all the difficulties at one point.
I'm trying to think. There might be another game I may have. I'm not sure if I 100%ed, but I think I got close to it, and that would have been San Andreas. Because I remember it's like there's a lot of things you had to do to get like gold trophies on everything. To get like the secret cars or secret vehicles. So it's like, okay, I 100%ed the airport missions, for the plane. I 100%ed the driving school. I 100%ed all gold trophies. Obviously story. No, I never did Rampage. So there's just some stuff in there just I didn't care to do. That's why I'm not a gamer. I'm just a casual video game.
Like, when you taught me into going and playing the original Red Dead Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
I was having enough fun that I thought I was going to do it the way I did Nier.
Okay.
And I did all of the different missions for all the NPCs in that game before the ending when it changed main characters.
Yeah.
So whenever I switched over to John's son, the only thing I had left was, avenging John. Because I'd done all the other side quests.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that was left was to go through and unlock like the different outfits.
Which I did. I unlocked all the outfits. And
that was where I fell off.
I almost fell off, but I'm just like, I just want to keep. And the only reason I believe I know I got 100% because the game, you get an outfit that requires 100%. And that's, I believe, the outfit. Which basically just makes you immune to all crap. So at that point, it's just like, Jack is walking around with the $15,000 bounty. It's more fun to just be like, I am holed up in Armadillo. Oh, look, here come 3 wave of bounty hunters. All right, bring it on.
But yeah, trying to get all the outfits, the game stopped being fun. And I decided I do not want to tarnish the fun that I've had with this by going through the bullshit grinding of getting these, so I'm done.
I get it.
Now, if I ever go back and play through the game again, I might try and grind out an outfit at a time as I go along, so it's a little less arduous.
It doesn't get any easier just because it's like, if you want this outfit, well, you need to get to like level 6 herbalist or something like that. It gets a little. If you're not into it, then you won't be in.
I think the one I had the most fun with was the treasure hunting shit.
Well, that's just that gets to the point where it's like, oh, good, I don't have to worry about money.
Yeah, because I did a couple of those, and I went over and did the 5-finger fillet minigame, mastered that button mash, and like a couple of rounds of that, I never had any more cash flow problems in that game.
Well, no, because it just becomes a memorization. It's like, yep, I remember the boss. And then you could do a round in like 2 seconds. So we're both in agreement that Tron Legacy is the better video game movie?
No, I'm not going to give it on that one. I think Source Code is the better video game mechanic movie. That.
Well, we both made strong arguments. Let's just say we both win.
Now, I do want to do a quick honorable mentions segment.
Okay.
So we will do a shout out on behalf of Dalton because the original plan when we were going to do this originally, he had wanted to come on to pitch his video game movie, and then he had to bow out shortly before we ended up taking that short hiatus when a lot of shit was going on. We skipped a week. So, on behalf of Dalton, the pick that he had told me was his favorite video game movie was the original Mortal Kombat, which is an amazing movie. I remember going to the theater with my buddy Nick and my little brother to watch Mortal Kombat at the theater. Love that movie, but
here is why I'm to say it is not the better video game. I don't remember a damn thing about it. I remember basically everything about Annihilation. Now, Annihilation is a worst movie, but because of the fact that it is worse and more idiotic and crazy, it makes it more like, it's just, I didn't watch the movie, but I ended up watching just like all the major fights, the big clips from that movie, the first Mortal Kombat. And it's like, oh, okay, Johnny Cage versus Goro. Let's see how this... He kicks him in the nuts, and then he pushes him over the side of a mountain.
All right, look.
Great.
I know you're not a wrestling guy.
No. What way to get that idea?
But the main events for both days of WrestleMania this past weekend were decided by guys getting hit in the dick. So it is a very valid strategy.
I mean, don't get me... I mean, Goro is what? 8 feet tall, and he's got 4 arms. It's a giant of a thing. So yes, the best way to take him out is a kick to the balls. But the fact that it's like you're supposed to portray him as like this ultimate fighter and everything, it's just like, oh, he went out like a pussy. Great.
I like to think, since he's got an extra set of arms, what if he was rocking 4 nuts too? That would explain why it hurt even extra.
So he's like the Krogan in Mass Effect.
Again, smile and nod.
Play Mass Effect and listen to the dialogue.
4 arms, 4 nuts, 2 dicks.
They might actually have 2 dicks. I don't know.
Well, so between Mortal Kombat and Annihilation, all the outfits in Annihilation just look so fucking cheap. That was the thing that bothered me more than anything. The shitty green screen at the beginning of the movie and how cheap the costumes look. Like, they even have Sub-Zero and Scorpion, who both die in the first movie, though they're back again. Why didn't they just use the same fucking costumes that they had left over from the first movie? They look so much better.
Probably because they got people that were smaller, and the outfits wouldn't fit correctly.
Motherfucker, treat it like a bra and stuff it. Couldn't have looked worse.
Like I said, Annihilation is the worst movie. Worst of the two. But because it is so bad, it's more memorable.
I will say that taken as a whole, Annihilation is a better movie than that new Mortal Kombat they did a couple years ago.
Okay.
Now, if you only watch the opening scene of the new Mortal Kombat, which I think is actually still on YouTube for free because they released it as a promo thing before the movie hit theaters, which is kind of the origin story for Scorpion. That in isolation is the greatest thing in Mortal Kombat that has ever been put to film.
That in isolation?
No, in the reboot of Mortal Kombat they did a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So if you take that scene in isolation from the rest of the movie,
okay.
All right, now you got. Now you're getting a whiff of what I'm laying down.
I heard it as that and isolation. I'm like, wait, how does Alien Isolation to this?
All right, so go with me on this.
Scorpion was actually Ripley.
So, Freddy Krueger is a DLC character in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Freddy versus Jason. Jason went to space. All right, you still with me?
I'm with you. So you're saying Jason created the Borg in Star Trek?
All a shared universe.
So that means Freddy is Darth Vader.
Close. All right. Not the original Freddy, reboot Freddy. They have the same complexion.
Isn't it still played by Robert Englund?
Not in the reboot. They had a different guy, I thought.
I don't know. Damn it! I just gave my.
I only watched the original one, and No, I think the original or not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street's the only one of those I actually watched.
I've never watched any of the Freddy movies. The only two clips I've seen is when Johnny Depp gets sucked into his bed and like drags the tea with him, and then he becomes a geyser of blood. And then it's I guess the mother or someone at the end of the movie. Freddy wraps his arm around her, drags her through like the window of the front door. It's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a creative decision.
Oh, I know it's.
And then you get to the Friday the 13th.
I know it's a creative decision. It's just like, oh, okay. They're silly movies.
What's even sillier, if you watch the second Friday the 13th movie, like the opening sequence for that film, if you think about it for more than a minute from Jason's point of view, it becomes a comedy of errors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the opening for that movie basically boils down to the girl that survived from the first movie, if I'm remembering right. She wakes up in the middle of the night, hears a noise downstairs, carefully goes downstairs. We get jump scared by the cat and faked out. And she's like, "Oh, baby, you're just hungry. Well, here." Then she goes to the fridge to get food for the cat, because this cat has fancy fucking cat food that has to be refrigerated.
You would say it's a fancy feast.
Oh, well played.
This episode sponsored by Fancy Feast. Fancy Feast. Call us.
Friskies, actually.
We use both. We use Friskies and Fancy Feast. But let me tell you,
mine are...
there's another cat food that just gives us a lot of temptation.
Purina comedy right there.
Anyway, continue.
Well, fancy fucking cat, she goes to open the fridge to get the fancy fucking cat food, and when she does, it's
Zool.
Jason's mother's head. Because in the original Friday the 13th, it wasn't actually Jason, it was his mom who was killing everybody. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget that. But she sees the severed head, backs up, screams, and then Jason, bamps out of the shadows, ice pick through the skull. All right, now think about how all this had to play out from Jason's point of view. Because Jason's this undead, monstrous killing machine, but he died as like a 13-year-old boy who drowned because the camp's counselors were busy fornicating instead of watching the kids. So he comes back to life, rises from the lake, carrying his mother's head, because this is very crucial to his plan. Being 13, he can't drive a car, and this is like the 80s. But presumably he can ride a bicycle. So let's say he rides a bicycle and he goes to like a local convenience store, because this is pre-Google Maps, and he gets a real paper map because he can read a map, and now he has a map. And then he goes to like, say, a phone booth because he knows this bitch's name and looks her up in the directory to get an address, because that used to be a thing. Or funnier, he picks up a taxi.
Well, I just have this image now of Jason riding this little girl's kid's bike, and it has a little bell, so he's just riding along.
And a basket to hold the severed head, because he has to have the severed head.
The basket with the severed head, and it's just like he's riding along, cling, 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 for no reason at all. It's just like, okay, I approve of this.
Has her address from the directory, has a map to find his way to her house, so he gets there. And now, how does he know that the cat has fancy-ass cat food that's kept in the refrigerator? Better yet, how does he know she's going to open that fridge door to see the severed head? Which brings up a more interesting thing. What if that wasn't his first try, because she has to see that severed head before he kills her? Mm-hmm. So let's say he planted it like on a spike next to the driveway, but she came home from a long day of work, she's still a little bit tipsy from a night out at the bar, drives up past it, doesn't notice it. Shit. Well, I can't kill her now, she didn't see the head. So he sneaks upstairs while she's still downstairs, like taking her shoes off and shit, puts it on the nightstand. She walks right past it, staggers into the bathroom, takes a shower. Son of a bitch.
It's just like a Whose Line Is It Anyway skit, where it's just like, what really happens when a serial killer is waiting to make the kill, or everything that's going wrong.
So, like, maybe he has tried to get her to notice his head 5 times already, and he's on, like, attempt 6, and He puts it in the fridge, but why was there a noise, and why did the cat just suddenly jump out from nowhere? Which brings to my favorite point: the cat was in on it, or he's like shot putting the cat from the shadows at her or some
Yeah.
shit. So now he's hunched down behind the sofa, just waiting. Like, wait for it. Wait for it. She has to see it. I heard the gasp. All right, let's.
He's very thorough.
So, do you have any honorable mentions? Because we're talking about video game movies.
I mean,
For a video game movie we didn't talk about.
I mean, we definitely could put in a strong argument for The Matrix. I mean, obviously, the original Super Mario Brothers movie with Bob Hoskins, it goes without.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what other movies that it could. I get maybe you could say no. I was gonna say maybe Gone in 60 Seconds. You could say it's just like, oh, this is a Grand Theft Auto car stealing mission, which technically it is.
Well, I have two honorable mentions I want to throw out.
All right.
So, source code being the play a level, fail it over and over and over until you've mastered the scenario and you finally win.
All right.
So, the flip side of that coin. What if you were watching the play of a video game of like a top speedrunner who knows the levels back and forth, going straight through, never failing, just a perpetual upward arc?
Okay.
That is Crank.
I could definitely see, and I could also, if you
That
could
being-
also throw in a Death Race.
Not a movie I've seen, so I can't comment on that one.
Think of it like Twisted Metal,
Okay.
but it's a proper race. It's not just like a battle royale.
But, Crank being Jason Statham action movie where if he's been given some drug that's going to stop his heart, so he has to keep a constant stream of adrenaline running through him so that his heart will keep beating. And it's just a series of him doing nut job shit to keep his heart rate up.
This will be the last one I mentioned. This just popped into me because Jason Statham.
Go for it.
The One, with Jet Li and Jason.
The Jet Li movie?
Yes, because what happens? What happens with Jet Li? He gets into a fight. He makes a kill. He gains experience, which in turn increases his strength, his agility, his dexterity. I mean, come on. I mean, The One is just it's an RPG.
Yeah, because the protagonist version of Jet Li in that movie has been getting essentially experience share for being in the back of the party, while the other one's been killing all the other versions of him across the multiverse.
Exactly.
There you go.
It's Pokemon. Because Pokemon, you could experience share.
And yeah, he is trying to get them all.
He will be the one. He is trying to be the Mew.
I think we just made the lore of that movie way more interesting.
And I think that is the perfect way to end our discussion, because I don't know how you can top that. Jet Li, the One.
I will shout out one other Jake Gyllenhaal movie
Hold on.
that I did want to mention.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna look up his filmography. I want to see if I can get a guess.
Because this was the one I was trying to bait you when I told you my video game movie pick starred Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, Prince of Persia.
Yep. Way better than it had any right to be. Much like Minecraft, but
I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about it.
yeah, it's actually a decent flick.
I also forgot that Warcraft was a movie. Sorry, that was just one of the things I threw around. It's like I'm on for Prince of Persia. It's just like it grossed over $336.4 million on a production budget of $150 million, and was the highest grossing video game film adaptation until it was surpassed by Warcraft. And it's just like, oh yeah, Warcraft was.
Yeah, and I've not heard anyone who said that Warcraft was a good one.
I also have heard that it is not a good movie, but I think everyone agrees that it looks.
Yeah, I've not heard anyone say anything bad about like the effects, and I'm guessing it was an animated film. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it was animated or if it was like
I think it's
Disney's version of live action.
I think that, but yes,
Yeah,
Jet Li's the one, the Pokemon. Actually, that was another one. Detective Pikachu was better than it had any.
yeah, that was a good one. But I mean, also Ryan Reynolds. So when he was still flying high off of, I think that was shortly after Deadpool 2 came out.
Yeah, he's still on that Deadpool.
Best thing Marvel's done, and since Infinity War was Deadpool and Wolverine.
No comment. I mean, I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine. I liked it, but who cares? The only one superhero movie that I absolutely love is because it doesn't treat itself like it treats itself just like a normal movie with characters that just happen to have power. And that's, I absolutely.
Logan's a good one. And I absolutely adore the fact that Deadpool and Wolverine opens with Deadpool defiling Logan's grave
Indeed.
and killing a bunch of people using his skeletal remains to a Backstreet Boys song.
Then the next best comic book starring Billy Zane.
Man, I haven't thought about that movie in a minute.
That and The Shadow I watched. It's like they are terrible movies, but I love.
Now, if you like the superhero approach, but they don't treat it like superhero, you would probably actually like the Daredevil show that Netflix made, which it's over on Disney now because rights flip-flopping and everything.
The only other superhero movie that I like, and it again is like, oh, this is a superhero, but it doesn't treat itself like a superhero. It treats itself like, oh boy, this kid has discovered, says a word, and it becomes it becomes a superhero. That's Shazam. I'm still looking for a time when I can be like, I'm here. I like to purchase your finest beer.
You know, I got carded today buying beer.
Well, I always said you look like a 10-year-old.
I looked at that old woman. I'm like, God bless you.
I know. It's just like, it's one of those things. I was like, thank you. You made my day. You can definitely see the gray in my beard, but thank you.
I'm like, I don't have a whole lot of gray hair because at the moment that it turns gray, it falls out. I've got a little bit on my temples, but yeah, every time I get a gray one up top, shit falls out. So,
did you have any more honorable mentions or?
No, I guess call to action. So, if you think that we are wrong in our assessment of the best video game movies being Source Code and Tron Legacy, feel free to add us. You know, we're on all the socials. We will not read it because we do not use those accounts, but we're there and you can yell at us, or, you know, Discord where we'll tell you you're wrong, Nate.
Or if you agree with us that Jet Li's the one is basically, please let us know.
Yeah, I think that is the best takeaway, is that one, you know, Jet Li's the one is
trying to catch
the true spiritual successor or spell adaptation of Pokemon.
He's trying to kill them all. That's the
yeah. It's the gritty reboot.
But yeah, let us know what you think. If we're wrong, well,
we're not wrong.
We're both right.
I mean, Jeff's wrong. It's source code, but you know.
So it's okay to be wrong.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I mean, come on. You're messing with my Zen thing. Give me a one-liner from source code right now.
Fuck, I can't think of any good one-liners from that movie.
Boom. There we go. Tron Legacy. Winner.
Yeah, you're giving credit for Jeff Bridges to that movie.
Yes. Jeff Bridges is a charming man. Are you saying that Jake Gyllenhaal is more charming than Jeff Bridges?
Okay, counterpoint. Disney.
You just made this different.
Just made you feel a little dirty, right?
A little bit.
Not in the fun way.
Back when Disney may have.
Oh. Well, do you have anything left you wanted to cover? Or are we good?
No, I think we're good, buddy. I want to say that was a good discussion, but let's be honest. The discussion about a cheap.
Well, I mean, we covered a lot of different video game movies, so it's not like we avoided the subject.
It's true. Oh, no, there is one thing. I think something that you will agree with me. Dalton is wrong. Mortal Kombat is not the best.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, fun film, not the best video game movie. No. So
Mario Brothers is much better than.
And, you know, I would have invited Dalton again to come on here tonight to try and defend his stance, but we both know that he's going to be playing the new Oblivion game for probably the next 48 hours.
I'm actually seeing his name DMs list, and it says he is playing Oblivion right now.
Dude, I was taking a piss, and my phone started blowing up, and I pulled it out, and I looked at all my notifications, and all I saw was, oh my god, I'm going to cry. Yes, I'm so excited. And then Dalton's name and a +1 in the Backlog Golf channel. No explanation in text. I'm like, oh, he must have saw where Kana posted the Oblivion store page. Yep. I guarantee you he went and bought it. So I actually clicked on it, and yeah, he had posted the picture.
Yeah, even
I
out of
fucking knew it.
context, it's just like Dalton +1. We know.
I didn't have to look,
We knew.
but well, if you've made it this far, one, you fucking rock. I'm amazed. I'm impressed, and we love you. Thank you so much.
Well, hold on.
I've been Mr.
Hold on,
Puzzles.
hold on,
Whoa,
hold on.
what?
We're
wait.
missing something. We gotta let the viewers know what we're doing next episode.
Oh, fuck them. They'll find out later.
All right, then. Well, then I'm just gonna keep the secret from you as well.
All right, let's be fair about this, Jeff.
So,
All right. What's the pick?
So, a few of us have been trying to push you into getting American Truck Simulator. I even, Arcana even showed you, hey, Pork Chop Express, you can drive it, but you still haven't bought it. It's been 2 weeks. So, here is my campaign to really try to push you into getting the game. We're going to be talking about I don't know what year it is. It doesn't matter. Who gives a damn? It is a little-known Patrick Swayze movie called Black Dog. And for those that don't know what Black Dog is, he is a ex-con that has to drive a semi from Atlanta to New Jersey because he needs money because his wife his house is very behind on his mortgage, and he ends up involved in a gun running scheme. There will be car chases. There will be chases with semis. There is a Patrick Swayze. There is also a Meatloaf.
Okay, you got me at Meatloaf.
And as Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. What does that have to do with Black Dog? Two out of the 3 chases are very good.
2 out of 3. All right, so I guess that's what we're going to be doing next time. So, anything else?
I'm really trying to push you to get an American Truck Simulator.
I will. I just haven't got around to it, man.
You're slacking. It's unacceptable.
I'm gone all the damn time. Oh. Well, with that covered, I think all of our housekeeping's done now. I've been Mr. Puzzles. He's been Grumpy Jeff. You've been our audience. Thank you for listening to this week's Steamy Media Dump. Jeff, do you have any important words?
Yes, I do. Bio-digital jazz, man.
You kind of messing with my Zen thing here.
Tron Legacy. Better movie.
Weirder movie. Probably better remembered, but not the better movie.
It's the better movie.
You know I'm the one that edits, so I get the final word. Even if you say something else, I'll just cut it out.
But what if I say it so slow and deep? Yes.
Now cue the AI-generated Jeff that I'll make later that says, Dane, you're right, it was source code.
The problem is, he has that capability.
I've already got your voice model. Oh, good night, Jeff.
Good night, buddy.